30 forgotten fast food chains we all miss. Before McDonald's took the throne, Americans were captivated by roadside burger stands, beer-steamed hot dogs, and crispy, fragrant fried chicken. Some places were local legends until they disappeared. Today, let's look back at the once famous fast food chains that time left behind. Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips. As soon as you stepped inside, an unmistakable characteristic aroma of fried fish would hit your senses. A warm and inviting scent, signaling a delicious meal to come. Here, you would be treated to crispy, golden brown battered fish fillets, perfectly fried, retaining their moisture inside and a crunchy crust outside. The fried fish at Arthur Treacher's was British style, which was quite new at the time in America. Along with the fish were thick-cut fries, true chunky chips like in England. Not the thin French fries of today, but large pieces of potato, soft inside and slightly crispy outside. The malt vinegar here was very rich, and the hush puppies, golden fried, sweet, and fragrant cornmeal balls, were perfect for balancing the richness of the fish and fries. In its heyday, Arthur Treacher's was a formidable force, with over 800 locations across the United States. It was a place many families chose to treat themselves after an exhausting afternoon of shopping at the mall, or after finishing their weekly errands. Bonanza Steakhouse. On a Friday evening, your whole family would drive together to Bonanza Steakhouse. Even the name itself evoked the prosperity and abundance of the Wild West. What made Bonanza famous were its hearty meals, with fragrant, perfectly sliced, tender, and juicy grilled beef. But the soul of Bonanza, what every child looked forward to and every adult loved, was the Treasure Self-Serve Salad Bar. It was a paradise of choices, where you could freely create your own salad with countless fresh ingredients, from crisp green vegetables to shredded cheese, nuts, cold cuts, and countless unique dressings. Even more special, you could enjoy unlimited free soda. The feeling of freely filling your glass with soda, then returning to the salad bar for another helping, was a simple joy that Bonanza brought to its customers. White Tower. Before hamburger giants like McDonald's or Burger King dominated the market, there were restaurant chains that defined the concept of fast food in America. White Tower is a typical example, but with a bit of notoriety. Everything about White Tower resembled White Castle. From the characteristic small square burgers to the White Castle-like miniature restaurant architecture, their goal was clear: to provide small, quick, and affordable burgers to the general public. And for a time, they succeeded. The image of these small white towers popping up on street corners became a symbol of convenience and deliciousness. However, this imitation did not go smoothly. In 1937, White Castle, the elder statesman of the mini-burger industry, filed a lawsuit against White Tower for trademark infringement. This was a landmark case, forcing White Tower to completely change its architectural design and marketing strategy. They were no longer allowed to use the image of the White Castle and had to seek their own identity. This legal battle, along with market changes and the rise of larger chains with more efficient business models, led to White Tower's gradual decline. H. Salt Fish and Chips. If you wanted a taste of distant England without having to book a plane ticket, H. Salt Fish and Chips was the place to go. This chain successfully brought authentic British flavor to America, familiarizing American diners with crispy fried fish and golden fries. Just by stepping into an H. Salt restaurant, you would feel the faint smell of hot oil and fried fish in the air. The fish fillets were expertly battered, fried to a golden crispness, yet retaining the tenderness and juiciness of the fish meat inside. And the fries? They were thickly sliced and golden fried. An essential was the rich malt vinegar, an indispensable seasoning to elevate the flavor of the fish and chips. For many Americans, this might have been their first experience with unusual food, a new and exciting flavor compared to their everyday familiar dishes. Sizzler. Sizzler was a comfortable and familiar steakhouse, where family evenings, birthday parties, or simply an ordinary meal became special. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s, Sizzler might have been an indispensable part of your culinary memories. The most prominent feature of Sizzler, and the reason it attracted millions of customers, was its endless salad bar. This was a buffet paradise with countless options. You could find everything from fresh lettuce, juicy tomatoes, to unexpected dishes like fresh cheese, sweet pudding, and fragrant garlic toast. The feeling of freely choosing, filling your plate with all your favorite dishes, then returning for another helping, was an unforgettable experience. Besides the salad bar, Sizzler was also famous for its Malibu chicken, a delicious grilled chicken dish, richly marinated and cooked to perfection. This was an excellent choice for those who didn't want beef or wanted to try something different. The atmosphere at Sizzler was always warm and friendly, with lively laughter and the inviting aroma of food spreading throughout the space. Do you remember anything special or quirky about your childhood fast food restaurants? Share your story in the comments. The Ground Round. The most unique idea of the ground round was its pay-by-weight meal. Imagine you could eat as much as you wanted and your bill was calculated by the weight of the food you consumed, at a price of only 1 cent per pound. This strategy sparked curiosity and encouraged people to try many different dishes without worrying about the price. But what truly defined the ground round was its fun and somewhat crazy atmosphere. Peanut shells scattered across the floor were a familiar sight. You could freely eat peanuts and throw the shells on the floor without worrying about cleanup. TV channels continuously played cartoons, keeping children engrossed in the fun world, while adults could relax and chat. The ground round quickly became a familiar place for many families. You could come on weekends, enjoy a delicious meal, and create memorable memories together. From the laughter of children to the clatter of peanut shells on the floor, everything contributed to a lively and distinctive atmosphere. Shakey's Pizza. If you ask people who grew up in the 60s about the most popular pizza place back then, Shakey's Pizza will surely be one of the first answers. Shakey's was famous for its delicious pizzas with crispy crusts and attractive toppings. Shakey's Pizza was where young people gathered to relax, eat, and enjoy live music. Many locations had stages for ragtime or Dixieland jazz performances, creating a lively and cheerful atmosphere. The sound of instruments, laughter, and the smell of melting cheese blended together, creating an irresistible sensory experience. Pizza parties at Shakey's often came with old silent films shown on a large screen, bringing a nostalgic and unique feeling. Shakey's pizzas were made with a thin, crispy crust and topped with the freshest ingredients. From spicy pepperoni to fresh mushrooms and sliced onions, each slice of pizza was a perfect combination of flavors. Along with pizza, you could enjoy cold beer or soft drinks to complete your meal. Today, though no longer present in the US, you can find them in some areas of the Philippines. The Red Barn. There was a restaurant shaped like a bright red barn, standing out against the city landscape or along highways. That was the Red Barn, a fast food chain with unique architecture and an appealing menu. The image of the bright red barn easily became a familiar symbol for many in the 60s and 70s. The Red Barn was famous for its Barn Buster burger, a burger considered a worthy rival to the Big Mac. With 2 beef patties, fresh vegetables, and a signature sauce, the Barn Buster burger was an attractive option for those who wanted a filling and delicious fast meal. Besides burgers, the Red Barn also served crispy fried chicken, loved by many for its crunchy crust and tender, juicy chicken meat inside. For children, the Red Barn offered a special feeling. Everything there seemed tastier, from the large burger to the golden fried chicken. The barn-shaped architecture created a fun and distinctive space compared to ordinary restaurants. Steak and Ale. The distinctive feature of Steak and Ale was its cozy atmosphere and dim lighting. Founded by Norman Brinker, who owned the first location in Dallas, Texas in 1966, Steak and Ale redefined the concept of casual steakhouses. The restaurant's goal was to serve high-quality steaks at a price every American could afford. The restaurants were designed in a Tudor style with dark wood walls, classic chandeliers, and faux fireplaces, creating a feeling of dining in an ancient castle. This setting made diners feel like they were in a more luxurious restaurant than a regular fast food joint. This was a special place to celebrate birthdays or special evenings where you could relax and enjoy a meal undisturbed by noise. In addition to steak, Steak and Ale was also famous for its delicious sandwiches, rich hamburgers, and especially its extensive salad bar. The salad bar wasn't just green vegetables, remember? There were also many other side dishes like hot soup, freshly baked bread, and various signature dressings. Ponderosa Steakhouse. Ponderosa Steakhouse, along with Bonanza, were legendary names in the American steakhouse buffet world. If you wanted to experience a true first buffet with countless food options, then Ponderosa was the place to go. This was where you could enjoy perfectly cooked steaks, from rare to well done, according to your preference. But what made Ponderosa special was the variety of its buffet bar. Not only salads, but you could also find hot dishes, from crispy fried chicken, BBQ ribs, to steamed vegetables, creamy mashed potatoes, and many tempting desserts. The feeling of freely choosing and enjoying unlimited portions was a luxury that Ponderosa offered its customers. In the 70s, Ponderosa was one of the most popular dining spots. It was also considered a gathering place where families and friends met to enjoy a hearty meal without worrying about who would cook or do the dishes. The warm, friendly atmosphere, with lively conversations and the fragrant smell of food, all created a memorable experience. Would you like to go back in time and visit one of these restaurants? If so, which one and why? Winkies. Winkies was founded in 1963 by the Aaronstein brothers, who initially had no intention of opening a fast food chain. They started as meat suppliers. Interestingly, it was the success of one of their customers that inspired the creation of Winkies. That restaurant was none other than McDonald's. McDonald's soaring meat orders made the Ehrenstein brothers realize the enormous potential of this industry. And so the idea for Winkies was born. A big advantage they had was that by supplying meat to their own restaurants, they could cut out intermediate costs, giving them a competitive price advantage. At its peak, they had 42 locations spread across 3 states. They served familiar fast food focusing on meat quality, which was their strength. Hot burgers, crispy fries, and other convenient fast food attracted a large number of customers. However, like many other stories in the industry, fierce competition and economic changes challenged Winkies' existence. Showbiz Pizza Place. The initial success of this chain came from its embrace of the exploding popularity of video games. This was a period when arcade games were at their peak, and Showbiz perfectly combined a pizza restaurant, an arcade area, and something even more special: animatronics. It was these robots that were the big differentiator between Showbiz and their main competitor, Chuck E. Cheese. While Chuck E. Cheese had simpler animatronics, Showbiz boasted the Rock-afire Explosion stage, where robot characters performed lively songs and interacted with the audience, aiming to create a dynamic and unique entertainment experience. With 280 stores spread across the U.S. Every birthday party at Showbiz was a memorable event. Hot pizzas, the clinking of arcade machines, and especially the performance of the hilarious robots. Children could run freely, play games, and sing along to their favorite songs. Childs. In just a short time since its founding, Childs expanded impressively, reaching 29 cities across the country and even extending into Canada. What was special about Childs was that their business model paved the way and laid the foundation for later restaurant giants like McDonald's. They pioneered in many aspects, from diverse food options to professional customer service, and especially emphasized hygiene standards. Childs' menu was not limited to fast food. They expanded to serve more traditional dishes, with high quality and affordable prices. They focused on providing clean, delicious meals to the public, from laborers to families. Minnie Pearl's Chicken. In the fiercely competitive world of fried chicken, one name once tried to challenge the dominance of Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, Minnie Pearl's Chicken. This restaurant chain was named after a famous country comedian, also known by her stage name, Minnie Pearl. Real name, Sarah Ophelia Colley Cannon. Interestingly, Minnie Pearl herself had no role in the restaurant's operations, other than lending her name. The company was founded in the 1960s with the clear goal of directly competing with KFC, and in the early years, they did so impressively. Minnie Pearl's Chicken experienced an explosive growth. In a short time, they opened 567 locations, including franchises. Everyone wanted to try Minnie Pearl's Chicken, and the chain seemed to be on its way to becoming a new giant in the industry. Wags by Walgreens. Most people in America are familiar with Walgreens pharmacies, but few know that in the 1970s, Walgreens also owned and operated its own 24-hour diner chain called Wags. Wags was built on the idea and successful model of Denny's, offering a cozy and convenient space for diners. Wags had a total of 91 locations, mainly situated along busy highways. This strategic location made Wags an ideal stop for long-distance travelers, truck drivers, or anyone needing a quick meal at any time of day or night. By being open 24 hours, Wags was always ready to serve from early breakfast to late-night meals. Wags' menu was quite diverse, but focused on classic diner-style dishes. You could find hearty breakfast plates with eggs, bacon, sausage, and pancakes, along with delicious hamburgers. The smell of hot coffee and toast always filled the roadside space. Dee's Drive-In. Dee's Drive-In was one of the oldest and most successful drive-in burger chains in the American West. It began its journey in 1932 when D. Frederick Anderson opened his first restaurant in Salt Lake City, Utah. He was inspired to start his own burger stand after selling hamburgers at the University of Utah, where he saw the great potential of this fast food. From a small eatery, Dee's Drive-In grew strongly. The chain later expanded to 53 restaurants and achieved impressive revenues of $20 million per year. This figure at the time was a significant success, showing that Dee's Drive-In had won the affection of a large number of customers. Dee's was famous for its delicious burgers, simply prepared but high quality, along with fries and refreshing drinks. As a drive-in, customers could order and receive their food right at their car, a convenient and popular model at the time. Are there any other restaurants you think deserve to be on this list that we missed? Let us know in the comments. Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor, a fairy tale world where childhood blossomed with grand ice cream parties and a joyful atmosphere. Founded in 1963 in Portland, Oregon by Bob Farrell and his business partner Ken McCarthy, Farrell's quickly became a favorite spot for children and families. By 1975, the company reached its peak with 120 locations, each designed to provide a unique experience. All parlors had an early 20th century theme, with high stools at the counter, glass ice cream display cases, and vintage lanterns. Staff wore vintage uniforms with adorable boat hats, adding charm and nostalgia to the space. Farrell's was most famous for giving a free giant ice cream sundae to children on their birthday. When a child had a birthday, the whole parlor would sing happy birthday together, and a server would bring out a giant sundae with many layers of ice cream, sauce, whipped cream, and candy, often brought out on a small cart or on their shoulder, sometimes accompanied by a whistle or bell. The laughter, applause, and radiant eyes of the children were familiar sights at Farrell's. Kenny Rogers Roasters. The idea behind this restaurant chain came from Rogers' personal experience. He was one of the initial investors in Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, and this investment helped him earn millions of dollars. With that experience, Rogers believed he could create his own successful chicken chain, focusing on rotisserie chicken instead of crispy fried chicken. Kenny Rogers Roasters was famous for its whole rotisserie chicken, specially marinated and slow roasted over a fire, retaining its tenderness and delicious flavor. The menu also included side dishes like corn on the cob, mashed potatoes, and coleslaw, all in a distinct Southern American culinary style. With the support of Kenny Rogers' name, the restaurant attracted a large number of customers. The chain rapidly expanded, reaching 425 locations nationwide. Everyone wanted to experience the food here at least once. Chi-Chi's, USA. Chi-Chi's was a Mexican restaurant chain once very popular in the United States, bringing the colorful and vibrant flavors of Mexican cuisine to diners. Owned by Hormel, Chi-Chi's began operations in 1974 and quickly made a name for itself in the casual Mexican restaurant segment. Chi-Chi's was known for its spacious restaurants, decorated in a vibrant Mexican style, with lively Latin music and traditional dishes like sizzling fajitas, rich burritos, fragrant enchiladas, along with large plates of nachos overflowing with cheese and meat. A special feature of Chi-Chi's was its consistently fun and friendly atmosphere, very suitable for family gatherings, friends, or parties. In 2003, just 1 month after filing for bankruptcy, Chi-Chi's faced a serious public health disaster, the largest hepatitis A outbreak in U.S. history. This outbreak caused 4 deaths and a total of 660 infections. The consequence of the outbreak was millions of dollars in compensation from lawsuits. Chi-Chi's could not recover from these enormous losses, both financial and reputational. Therefore, all Chi-Chi's locations in the United States had to close in 2004. Lum's. Lum's interior often had a bar-like atmosphere with dark wood and stained glass, creating a cozy and comfortable ambiance. A once famous name in the American fast food industry, particularly known for a unique dish, beer-steamed hot dogs. This chain created a distinct mark with its characteristic flavor and unique serving style. Lum's had over 400 locations, a significant number showing the chain's popularity. The beer-steamed hot dog was the star of the menu, offering a rich and distinct flavor compared to regular hot dogs. The beer used for steaming cooked the sausage and infused into every fiber of the meat, creating an irresistible aroma and taste. Besides hot dogs, Lum's also had the Alai Burger, another option for those who didn't like hot dogs. It was a place where people could drop in for a quick meal, a cold beer, and relax. Henry's Hamburgers. In the early 60s, when McDonald's was on the rise, there was another restaurant chain that once surpassed them in number of locations, Henry's Hamburgers. At that time, Henry's had over 200 locations, while McDonald's only had about 150. This was an astonishing number, showing Henry's dominance in the budget burger segment. Henry's Hamburgers was famous for its hamburgers priced at just 10 cents. At this price point, Henry's became the top choice for those who wanted a quick, delicious, and super economical meal. Additionally, Henry's offered car hop service, where servers would bring food directly to customers' cars, a popular and convenient experience at the time. Customers could sit in their cars, enjoy hot burgers, and feel the lively atmosphere of the place. Tops Drive-In. Tops Drive-In was another icon of American drive-in culture, where convenience combined with a unique serving style. Tops was famous for its giant burgers, prepared with thick patties and fresh toppings. Along with burgers were baskets full of fries, enough to satisfy anyone's hunger. The most distinctive feature of Tops Drive-In was its car hop service, where beautiful young women in vintage uniforms would roller skate to deliver food directly to customers' cars. The image of car hop girls gliding gracefully between classic cars became a symbol of American culture in the 50s and 60s. This not only provided convenience, but also created an entertaining experience for customers. You could sit in your car, turn on the radio, and enjoy your meal in a relaxed atmosphere. Dog and Suds. Dog and Suds is another name associated with drive-in culture and classic American cuisine. As its name suggests, this chain specialized in hot dogs and root beer, two familiar and beloved American foods. Dog and Suds was known for its high-quality hot dogs, often served in soft buns with a variety of toppings. Their root beer was also very popular with a rich and refreshing flavor. Like Tops Drive-In, Dog and Suds also served directly to cars through its car hop service. You could drive up, park, and an attendant would come take your order, then bring the food out to your car. At its peak, Dog and Suds had over 600 locations, a very impressive number. Young people considered it a destination where they could eat well and socialize freely. Dog and Suds parking lots were often crowded with cars and groups of young people gathering, chatting, and enjoying food. It was a dining experience that didn't require getting out of your car, convenient and highly social. Biff Burger. In the relentless race to create the perfect burger, Biff Burger made its unique mark by pioneering flame-broiled burger technology. This chain used a special machine called the Roto Broiler, which gave the burgers a distinctive charcoal flavor. This was a major differentiator from other burger chains at the time, which typically used frying or flat-top grilling. The subtle smoky flavor and slightly charred exterior of the flame-broiled burgers attracted a large number of customers. Biff Burger once had about 200 locations, showing that they had a fairly wide network and were well known to many. Customers came to Biff Burger to enjoy delicious burgers with quality beef and a unique flavor that couldn't be found elsewhere. Sandy's. In the golden age of burger chains, Sandy's tried to create a unique identity by choosing a Scottish theme. This burger chain used tartan patterns, images of bagpipers in their advertisements, and their mascot was a character named Sandy dressed in traditional Scottish attire. This created a lovely and recognizable difference in a market saturated with hamburger restaurants. Sandy's grew quite strongly with over 200 locations. They served delicious burgers along with fries and milkshakes, familiar fast food items. The atmosphere at Sandy's was often cozy and friendly with a touch of Scottish culture woven in. Carol's. Carol's was a fast food chain that began as a drive-in restaurant in New York, notable for its mascot, a boy wearing a hamburger-shaped hat. Carol's distinctive orange and brown colors carried the spirit of the 70s, evoking a warm and nostalgic feeling. What's interesting about Carol's is not that they vanished completely, but how they transformed spectacularly. Instead of going bankrupt or closing down, this company made an extremely smart strategic move. In 1976, Carol's converted most of its restaurants into Burger King franchises. This helped them not only survive, but also thrive more than ever. Today, Carol's parent company has become one of the largest Burger King and Popeyes franchisees, owning and operating over 1,000 locations. This is considered the most successful failure in fast food history because, from a separate restaurant chain, they transformed themselves into a major force in the industry through partnership with a global brand. Royal Castle. Royal Castle was one of the first chains to dominate the mini burger scene in the southern United States. Starting in 1938 in Miami, Florida, Royal Castle was famous for its small square sliders steamed with onions. This dish became an icon, loved by many for its rich flavor and compact size. In addition to burgers, Royal Castle was also popular for its distinctive birch beer and fresh squeezed orange juice. Royal Castle served both lunch and dinner, but they were also very popular for breakfast. At its peak, the chain had up to 175 locations in Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, and Ohio. Royal Castle provided a quick but high-quality dining experience, with a friendly and cozy atmosphere. However, as larger national chains like McDonald's began to expand and become more popular, Royal Castle faced difficulties competing and gradually disappeared. Burger Chef. Burger Chef was once a giant in the fast food industry, McDonald's fiercest competitor. In the 70s, Burger Chef even rose to become the second largest burger chain in the nation, an astonishing achievement showing their influence. What made Burger Chef famous was its innovation and pioneering spirit. They were the first to introduce the Fun Meal Kids meal with toys, an idea that predated McDonald's Happy Meal. This attracted millions of families and children to Burger Chef. Additionally, they had a unique Works bar, where customers could freely add toppings to their burgers, from lettuce, tomatoes, and onions to various sauces, creating a personalized experience. Burger Chef's burgers were famous for their delicious taste and consistent quality. The restaurant space was often bright, clean, and family-friendly. Burger Chef was a popular choice for convenient and delicious fast meals. Howard Johnson's. Howard Johnson's was famous for its distinctive orange roof and 28 different ice cream flavors, an unprecedented variety at the time. Starting in 1925 in Quincy, Massachusetts as a single soda fountain, Howard Johnson's quickly grew into a phenomenon. It became one of the first fast food restaurants to offer dine-in service. Not only that, Howard Johnson's was also one of the first American franchise brands when they opened their second location after the Great Depression. Their menu was extensive, from simple dishes like fried clams to hot dogs, catering to all tastes and ages. Howard Johnson's provided a familiar and reliable feeling for travelers, becoming a regular stop on long journeys. The dine-in restaurant model of Howard Johnson's gradually became outdated as the interstate highway system developed strongly and faster restaurants emerged. The fast food revolution completely changed how Americans ate on the go. Although the restaurant tried to transition into the hospitality industry, transforming restaurants into motor lodges for those seeking affordable accommodation on long trips, it was not enough to save the chain, which unfortunately had to close. Sambo's. Sambo's once offered a family-friendly atmosphere where everyone could enjoy delicious meals in a comfortable environment. Sambo's was a restaurant chain that once dominated the breakfast market in the U.S., famous for offering affordable breakfast all day long. At that time, Sambo's had up to 1,117 locations, an astonishing number showing the widespread popularity of this chain. Sambo's breakfast often included eggs, bacon, pancakes, toast, and coffee, all served quickly and at reasonable prices. If you wanted a breakfast that was both delicious and filling, Sambo's was the place to go. However, Sambo's ran into a big problem: their controversial name. The name Sambo's was linked to an old children's book called Little Black Sambo, a story considered to have racist content. As the civil rights movement grew stronger, this name became a huge burden for the restaurant chain. Sambo's faced public protests and boycotts. Thank you for traveling back in time with us. Which restaurant chain from this list would you most like to revisit? Or do you have any memories of them? Share your story in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Back to Yesterday to not miss out on future nostalgic journeys. Thank you, and see you again.